Okay, let's dive right in. We're talking about a tool that is so simple, yet so incredibly powerful, it can totally revolutionize how your banking team works. And no, I'm not talking about some complex new software. We're actually going back to basics to unlock some serious potential. So let me start by asking a question that I bet hits home for a lot of you. You're a pro, you're skilled, you've got years of experience, you know this stuff inside and out. So why? Why do things still sometimes slip through the cracks? It's a really frustrating question, isn't it? Well, here's the thing. The answer almost never has to do with a lack of knowledge. The real villain here, it's complexity. Just think about it for a second. A single credit approval, getting KYC compliance right, even digital onboarding. Each one of those can have hundreds of tiny little steps. When you're under pressure, it is just so easy for even the absolute best in the business to forget one little thing. And that's exactly why we need to completely reframe how we think about checklists. These are not training wheels for beginners. They are professional-grade instruments for experts. They're designed to help you manage that overwhelming complexity. Just like a pilot runs through their pre-flight checklist every single time, no matter if they've flown 10,000 hours. It's a tool for pros. And it's pretty amazing when you see what these simple little lists can do against some massive risks. A really well-designed checklist is like a safety net. It makes sure that every single key control, from verifying who your customer is to grabbing the right documents, gets done every single time. And that diligence, that's what protects the bank from fraud. It keeps auditors off your back, and maybe most importantly, it's what builds real trust with your customers. Let's make this super concrete. Picture this, the high-stakes moment of a loan disbursement. The pressure is on, everyone's waiting. A simple checklist becomes your absolute best friend. It's right there confirming that every piece of paper, the income proofs, the credit reports, the security docs, is all signed, sealed, and delivered before a single dollar goes out the door. Just like that, you see how this little piece of paper can prevent a huge mistake? Okay, so we get why they're so important, but how do you actually make one that your team will use and not just, roll their eyes at? Well, there's a bit of an art to it, but it's pretty straightforward. The whole point is to make life easier, not to add another layer of bureaucracy. So the secret sauce for a great checklist comes down to just a few rules. First, keep it simple. Seriously, 5 to 9 points max. Use short, punchy phrases with clear action verbs. Don't try to list out every single tiny step of a process, just focus on those critical, can't-miss moments. And remember, this isn't a stone tablet. It's a living document that you should update as your team learns and finds better ways to do things. And here is a perfect example of that in action, a customer onboarding checklist. See, instead of some 50-page manual, it boils the whole thing down to 5 critical checkpoints. This makes sure nothing important gets missed, from vital compliance stuff like KYC to a really key customer experience moment like making that welcome call. You get a consistent, positive result every single time. Now, it's also really important to know that not all checklists are created equal. You basically have 2 main types. First, there's the Do Confirm checklist. This is for your seasoned pros doing routine stuff. They do the work from memory, then they use the list to quickly confirm that they didn't miss anything. Then you have the Redo checklist. This is your step-by-step guide for those really high-stakes or rare procedures, like replenishing an ATM, where you read each step, then you do it. Picking the right tool for the job is absolutely key. But here's where this gets really powerful. A great checklist does so much more than just prevent errors. When you roll them out the right way, they can actually change your team's entire culture for the better. It shifts people from just being task managers into becoming true, accountable partners. This quote, this one just gets right to the heart of it. You know how it is, when something goes wrong, the natural human instinct is to find someone to blame. But checklists, they change the whole conversation. The question stops being, who messed this up? And it becomes, did we follow our process? And does our checklist need to be better? And that one shift creates this incredible ripple effect. It all starts with a checklist. Suddenly, team members have to communicate. That fosters a learning culture where mistakes are used to improve the system, not to punish people. This empowers your junior staff with a clear roadmap to doing things right. And pretty soon, you've built this shield of effortless compliance with regulations like AML and FATCA, which frees up managers to actually coach their people instead of just micromanaging them. Just think about closing the vault at the end of the day. Instead of one person having all that pressure on their shoulders, you've got a team that goes through the closure list together, signing off on it. That simple, shared ritual, it completely eliminates any finger-pointing later on. That right there, that is shared accountability in action. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most powerful concept of all. It's a simple little ritual, a tiny change in how you work that can bring about these huge results in clarity, confidence, and ultimately success. It's this simple. Just pause. Before that big campaign launch, before you hit send on that critical audit report, before you release that major loan, the single most powerful thing your team can do is stop. This deliberate, intentional pause is when you pull out the checklist. We call this the checklist pause. It's a structured moment for the team to get on the same page, run through those critical last-minute checks, and just confirm everyone is aligned. But what's really amazing is the mental shift it creates. You move out of that frantic, reactive rush-to-finish mode, and you step into a calm, proactive state of being ready to succeed. It is a total game changer. So I'll leave you with this question. Don't try to change everything all at once. Just think about one recurring task, one area where there's always a bit of friction, or one source of common mistakes on your team. What is the one simple checklist you could introduce tomorrow that would make your team stronger, more collaborative, and more confident? The power to make that happen is right there.